Welcome back to Perks of Life with Vancy K. I'm your host, Vancy K, and I'm back with another one. I'm excited. I'm excited to be back. I've been away for quite some time now, only because I've relocated and I've been trying to take care of myself, mostly my mental health. I've been trying to balance myself and yeah, that's basically it. I'm not gonna say too much, yeah, on with that regard. Yeah. And don't mind the chirpings, those are my birds, the squeaky noises, those are my birds in the background. Yeah. So today's topic is basically courtesy of. Should I say courtesy of? Maybe not. Ever since I came to where I am right now, I've met a lot of people, and I've been to a lot of places with different people, and it seems like everybody asks me the same question. Yeah, because especially when it comes to my eating habits, they tend to ask questions. Oh, you used to like this. Why don't you like this anymore? Oh, you used to eat this. Why don't you eat this anymore? Stuff like that. So, as you can tell from the title of of today's podcast, I'm going to talk about Brewery syndrome. That's basically a syndrome that I got diagnosed with not long ago, quite recently actually. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you about the syndrome, how it happened, how or what my experience was, or what my experience is, since I'm still dealing with it, and how it came about, and how I'm trying to tackle it, basically. So yes, I got diagnosed with Brewery syndrome when I was in Moscow. So basically, what happened is there was a time. Oh, let me quickly give you a background story. I love my beer. I don't know, it's just in my blood. I just love my beer. So I have this tendency of every time when I get back home from a long day, I have like two beers. Usually, just two beers is just enough to get me where I want to be. So I would have beers every day, and I'm not the type to keep like alcohol in my fridge and stuff like that. So usually I on my way back I just grab two beers, or sometimes if I go to the supermarkets or the hypermarkets I'll get like a six pack, and trust me, I don't take that whole six pack at once. Yeah, so every day I'll just take like two cans if I have cans, or two bottles if I have bottles. Bottles are my favorite, by the way. Anyways, so I am not a heavy drinker at all. So, but I do have my beers, and it's not like an everyday thing. Sometimes I would skip like 2 days. It depends, man. I need to be in the mood to want to have those beers, especially after a long day. So, my friends know about this, right? Those that are close to me, or those that are around me most of the time. So they know about my situation with my beers, and they know that it's always just two beers. So I don't want to drag this, but anyways, there was one day I just felt a little down. I don't know. I at that time I thought it was like maybe I thought it was that time of the month, and I thought it was like maybe some sort of hormonal imbalances or something like that. But yeah, and then I started vomiting, and then I started having this dry hitting heaving type of thing, where you are vomiting but you're not vomiting anything, or like dry vomit. I don't know what it's called. I think it's called heaving. I don't know. You guys can correct me in the comment section. Anyways, when I started vomiting, and it after some time, I didn't even think of, it could be, I could be pregnant. Oh no, I didn't think about such things because I wasn't active, so to speak. Anyways, So after like a couple of hours, after the vomiting started, I vomited and then I started heaving basically. So after a couple of hours, I started getting headaches. I started feeling drowsy, and I started having these brain fogs, and my speech all of a sudden started slurring and stuff like that. So that's when I started getting concerned. And then I called a friend of mine. His name is Felipe. I think it's the one that we had a podcast together in the previous sessions. Yeah, I called him and I told him, no, bro, I'm not feeling so fine. I don't know, something is just wrong with me and stuff. And then because when he came to see me, he saw that my speech, I was slurred. I had like the slurred speech type of thing. So he was like, are you not just drunk or something? But and then I was like, but I haven't had beer in like forever. Okay, not forever, like in like maybe a week or something. I haven't had beer. Yeah, so it was kind of weird. And then we decided, okay, fine, let me just try to sleep it off. Yeah. And then oh yeah, we also thought, yeah, maybe you haven't eaten or something. But I had like a quite a huge a big breakfast. Yeah, breakfast. Did I say that right? I had a big breakfast that morning. So it was a Sunday, by the way. And then I tried to sleep. I woke up feeling even worse. And then that's when I decided, nope, I'm going to have to go in, you know. Oh, yeah, we decided to call the doctor. We called, in Russia, they have this thing, like a mobile doctor type of thing. Like you call and then the doctor comes to you. Yeah. So we called the doctor. The doctor came and he examined me. There were actually two, or maybe the other one was an assistant or something, I don't know. Yeah, so they examined me and then they said, oh, I think you have to go in for testing because we can't see anything wrong with you, you know. Like they tested they checked my blood pressure, they checked my temperature. I had no temperature whatsoever. I was as healthy as can be, but I just felt horrible. And then I had to go in. I had to go to the hospital. And then at the hospital, they checked me again. And it's like they can't see anything wrong with me. But they decided to just draw my blood and get my blood tested. So when they got my blood tested, they told me, after the results came in, they told me like my alcohol content or the alcohol level in my blood was like super, super, super high. And then I was like, but that's impossible. That's like crazy because I haven't had beer. I usually drink beer, but I haven't had beer. That's what I told them. I don't even, at that time, I haven't had any reason to take anything stronger because, you know, usually I would take like something stronger, only like especially whiskeys, especially if I will take whiskeys when say we're celebrating something or it's a holiday or something. That's when I will take whiskeys. But on a daily basis, I would usually just have like beer, and it was actually Heineken. No free promos. I'm kidding. Anyways, yeah. My result came out. I had a very, very high blood alcohol content in my blood. So they started taking other type of tests. I don't know if it was carbohydrate, something, a standardized carbohydrate test. But mind you, these people are Russian. I've been in Russia, or I was in Russia, for like almost 7 years. Yeah. And my Russian is not bad. But when it comes to medical terms, not, because I haven't really learned any medical terms. Except I'm sick, I'm feeling bad here and there, but deep medical terms. And so some stuff I could understand. Yeah, some stuff I really had to ask and try to translate and stuff like that, because even them, the doctors, some of the doctors, like their English was not was just as good as my Russian was, basically, or is. Anyways, so they did, I think it was called a standardized carbohydrate challenge test or something. Yeah, they did that. they did a series of tests before they actually came and diagnosed me, basically. Yeah, because at first, before the doctor told me that until I get a certain test, until we do an observation on you, I won't diagnose you yet, but I think you have this type of condition. He called it a condition at first. Yeah. So he explained to me that it seems like my body, not it seems like my body was actually turning, or basically fermenting carbohydrates into alcohol. I don't know how to put these terms together, but so what basically happens is it's actually a gut fermentation type of syndrome. Yeah, I mean, if they have to say it like on the streets, some people call it a gut fermentation syndrome. So, but it's actually an auto brewery syndrome, like the medical term for it. Oh, that's what I was told. But I did read a little bit on it, so that's why I'm learning how to take care of myself even better now. Yeah. So what basically happens is there's some sort of yeast in our, not in mine, but in everybody's guts. Yeah. There's like a yeast, and it's called candida or something. Yeah. So what basically happened is this yeast was basically, it has to be of a certain level, right? So it gets triggered by something, be it it gets triggered by some sort of antibiotic. And I do remember there was a time when I was on antibiotic. I'm not sure, but that's what I even told the doctor that there was a time when I was sick and they put me on antibiotic. Maybe that's because the doctor told me that it can be triggered by an antibiotic or some sort of illnesses. And then the illnesses that he mentioned are like things that I don't have, you know. So I just figured that maybe it was that time when I was on antibiotic, because it wasn't long ago and this just started happening now. So yeah, apparently this fungus gets not fungus but a yeast, it gets triggered by whatever it was triggered. So the amount of fungus, it increases. They tend to multiply and increases, and once it reaches a certain level, that's when it starts ingesting on carbohydrates, and then start producing ethanol in my gut, basically. Yeah. So that's basically what happened. So every time when I eat every time when I eat carbohydrates or anything starchy and stuff like that, my body feeds that fungus thing, feeds on that, and then it starts turning it into alcohol. What makes it super, super dangerous is that there's ethanol that is being produced, alcohol that is being produced is quite concentrated. It's not like the alcohol that we drink, like from like beer or whatever. It's quite concentrated, and it starts affecting my other organs. Like, yeah. So that's why it's like very, very dangerous. And the thing is, when you look at me, if I say, for example, I eat something that is like too much, like starchy, something starchy, my body will take that and change it into alcohol. Up until a certain point, that's when you start seeing the side effects. Because I don't feel, every time when that happens, I don't feel like, oh, when you see me, you don't see me like, oh, falling and being all alcoholically. I don't know, those behaviors of what we do after we drink. I wouldn't do that. Yeah. So that's why it's so dangerous. I wouldn't do that. I'll feel normal until after a certain time, when you start, like when I'm breathing, you can smell the alcohol. Like I didn't even have alcohol, but you can smell the alcohol. My speech starts slurring and stuff like that. Yeah, I start feeling fatigue, and I get brain fogs and drowsiness sometimes. Yeah. and like in my case, I started vomiting to a point that I even started heaving, basically. So yeah, so that's my condition. It's called brewery syndrome. I'm still learning a lot about it. I'm still trying to balance myself, because I still haven't seen like a dietitian, and it's not really like going on a diet. It's all more like a lifestyle that I have to live now, because I don't wanna damage my internal organs because of this, because of something that I eat that I'm not supposed to eat, or that I'm not supposed to eat over a certain content, it's called content or amount, I don't know. Yeah, so that's basically it. I just wanted to make, or to spread awareness that there is something like that. And if you find me eating cabbage, because a lot of people go on about my cabbage, yeah. And yeah, it's just a condition. It happens. It's quite rare, yeah. And it happened to me, and yeah, it's not life threatening because I can control it. Yeah, so that's about it for today's little short episode. I will try to, I'm not promising anything, but I'll try to record more. I think I've got my balance on a balance, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think I'll have more time now to record. I think I'll just need to get like co-hosts, not co-hosts, but visitors or whatever, guests or whatever, to, yeah. And also I need things to talk about, like topics. If you guys have any requests on certain topics that you want me to talk about, please do comment in the section, in the comment section down below. Oh my gosh, did I just forget everything that I needed to say? Yeah, I hope I said everything, and I hope I made it clear about this condition. It's called brewery syndrome. It's caused by a yeast that forms, a yeast that is the yeast is there. It just gets triggered by something. In my situation, I think I'm definitely sure that was triggered by the antibiotics that I was on. Yeah, because the antibiotic just caused like a homeostatic balance, which basically resulted in the yeast overgrowth, and that's when the yeast started not attacking, but feeding on the carbohydrates and stuff, and forming the production of ethanol, basically. Yeah. So I think that it's simplest. Yeah. And if I learn something new, you guys will definitely hear it from me. You heard it here first. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. And I hope we get to record more. There's actually an idea that I have. But yeah, I'll just keep you guys waiting on that. So, anyways, this is Bansi K, and I'm signing out.